I hate the way I look on camera. My name is Matthew Grayson from Pod in a Box, and I believe that if you are an expert in your industry, a CEO or a sales or marketing pro, you should start your own podcast. I believe everyone has the skills and the abilities to make a successful podcast, and I want to show you how. If you are starting a podcast, a channel, or building content, one of the first things you're gonna notice is you don't like the way you look on camera. And I can't help but kind of chuckle when I hear this, because the secret is nobody likes the way they look on camera. But I'm gonna tell you, there are scientifically some reasons why you don't like the way you look on camera, and there are actually some strategies that you can implement to fix this. Here we go. So, the number one reason you don't like the way that you look on camera is when we look in a mirror, we're used to seeing a specific image of ourselves. And when we look on a camera, that image is not reversed. So we're used to seeing the way that we look anytime that we look in a reflection and you see a reversed image of yourself. A camera actually flips that back around. Something looks off and you're not sure what. A lot of times people say, that's not how I look in real life. There's something wrong with the camera. The lens is bad. Now, lenses can make a certain distortion on your face a little bit, but it's not a gigantic difference. Usually the first thing people notice is that they just don't look right. So what you can do, if you really want to get specific, if you have some type of system like OBS, or if you're looking at footage, you can reverse it and you will usually instantly feel much more comfortable about what you're looking at. The good thing is, when it's going out into the world, these other people, they are not familiar with your face as you are, so it's not gonna bother them that the image is normal rather than reversed. It's a silly little trick, but trust me, it really makes a difference. The second reason that you may not look right on camera is because your energy is toned down. In over 5 years of filming people, I've noticed that two things cameras pick up really well are if someone is genuine or not. This sounds really weird, but if someone is not a trained actor and they lie on camera, you can tell. It's really bizarre when people are confident, when they know what they're talking about, when they're an expert in a subject, you can feel that too. It's very strange. So I would recommend when you're starting a channel, one, be real with your audience. Talk from your expertise. If there's something you don't know about, that's okay. Gloss over that and let someone else provide that expertise. You are only sharing what you know. But the second thing I'm gonna recommend that you do is turn your energy up just a little bit. You're gonna wanna turn that energy up 1 or 2 notches so it comes across as more natural on camera. Do you ever watch a channel where someone's just slow and boring and doesn't catch your interest? It's because they're trying to use their normal energy level. You're gonna wanna turn it up just a little bit. It should feel like a performance when you are making content, and people will be much more receptive and much more happy and likely to watch your content. The third reason you may not like the way you look on camera is because you haven't taken the effort to clean yourself up. Now, if you wanna come as you are and just turn the camera on and start making content and spend 0 time getting ready, your platform is TikTok. There are people in baggy sweatshirts and dirty clothes just getting on TikTok and making content. It really is kind of amazing. But if you want to compete on YouTube, Instagram, you know how competitive and how beautiful some of these other channels are. There are people on Instagram that their sole purpose, their sole reason that their channel exists is to try and make their life so beautiful and so gorgeous that people like you and I envy that, and we go, God, I wish my house was that clean. God, I wish my kids were that well behaved. I wish my relationship with my partner was that perfect. It's a fantasy, but it's a false fantasy that these people work very hard to cultivate. And no matter how gorgeous you are, you can't just sit down in front of a camera and go. A lot of people don't know, but in movies, folks like Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, they don't just show up looking gorgeous. They have a whole team of people helping them look their best. Hair, makeup, lighting, and special effects after the thing is filmed, where they can remove blemishes, scars, things like that. It happens a lot. Now, this is not what I look like on a normal day-to-day basis. I clean it up a little bit, and I know that's embarrassing because this is as good as it gets. But on a normal day-to-day basis, I look like Jesus in a t-shirt. My hair's down, my beard's scruffy, and I don't dress up real fancy. So before I come on here, I get cleaned up, I brush my hair, I put it back, I put some lotion on my face, I try to look nice because I don't want you all to turn on the video and go, oh God, who is this guy? I'm not gonna listen to him. Take a little bit of time to look your best. You will appreciate the way you look and people will consider you more professional because you look good. But make yourself look your best. Imagine you're going on a date or a job interview. Now you're ready to sit down and film. The fourth reason that you don't look right on camera is because you haven't taken the time to set up a set to where you look your best. Now, there are 3 pieces of a set that are really gonna help you look your best on camera. The first one is a light. You have a few different options. If you have a little bit of a budget, you can spend $50 to a few $100s on a light kit, and I recommend this. A simple key light, you may not know what that is, but it means a main light. Search key light with a diffuser, and there's all sorts of different options. Don't get caught up in trying to get the fanciest, the most expensive. You really don't need it. The light that I'm using is a Godox SL60W. It's got a big diffuser in front of it, so the light is even and not too harsh on my face, but I've got a couple other lights in the room too. I've got one behind me to light up the background. I've got some background lights to make the set look a little bit more interesting. I have a lot of production in the setup here, as simple as it is. And you're used to seeing people on other podcasts and videos spend tremendous budgets, time, and energy making their setup look gorgeous. Now, if you're just getting started, you don't need to get that fancy, you really don't, but make sure your face is lit up. So a lot of people overcomplicate or put way less energy into making the background than they need to. A lot of people, what they do is they film right up against a wall, or the worst thing that you can possibly do is film with a window to your back. Don't do this. The best way to make your setting look nice is to have some space between your back and the wall. For some reason, space makes things look more luxurious. I recommend looking through your home or your office and picking one place where you can regularly film, where you can have some equipment set up and it doesn't impede your use of the space. Having a dedicated filming space will make your content production so much easier. It's worth it. It's worth it. I can't tell you how important it is. So the 5th reason that you don't like the way that you look on camera is because you are your own harshest critic. I know that sounds ridiculous, and trust me, all the time I get people who say, I look fat, I look skinny, I look weird, I look old, I look ugly. You know what? That might be true, but I'm gonna tell you a little secret that a lot of people don't think about. We all look fat, skinny, old, weird, but the problem is each one of us is so busy thinking about how fat, skinny, weird I look that we don't have time to think how fat, skinny, weird, old, ugly you look. I know it sounds really silly, that when you start to see yourself on camera, you're gonna notice little details about your face, little details about the way that you stand or move or mannerisms or odd things like that. You're going to notice these things and it's really going to bother you. Now, the cool thing is the more you watch yourself, the more you can notice some of these things, and you can put some energy to changing that. If there are things that really, really bother you, you can work on it, you can review it, you can try to change that, but I gotta be honest, if you are delivering value, if you're delivering expertise and helping somebody learn something that they don't know how to do and they desperately need help with, no one really cares if you're fat or weird or ugly. They care about what you're sharing. And it takes time, but I can promise you this, the more you see yourself on camera, the less weird you're gonna think you look. It sounds really counterintuitive, but try it, practice, make 10 episodes before you judge yourself too harshly. And if it's something about your hair that you don't like, or your makeup, or the way that you dress, that is something that you can fix easily. Now you know why you think you look weird on camera. And if some of this is stopping you from making content, I highly encourage you to start anyways. We're always gonna find something that we don't like about themselves, but don't let it stop you from sharing your content and your value with the world. We want to learn from you, we're ready to learn from you, and if the way you look is the only thing stopping you, that's a hurdle you can easily leap over.